Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. I insist. Be sure to keep up. We're going to move fast today. We're going to be talking about Launchpads and pre-sales and Launchpad tokens and all kinds of good stuff. So right here we have LPI LaunchPad Index, and this is on the BSC network, but it will be cross-chain apparently. And this is an IDO currently being launched from Tinville Finance. So I've talked about Tinville Finance some in past videos, and if you are familiar with Launchpads and how they work, typically when an IDO is launched through a Launchpad, which in this case LPI is the IDO. I know it's a little confusing because it's LaunchPad Index, but LPI is the IDO through Tinville. So Tinville is the Launchpad in this case, and so to get into LPI, you will have to hold Tinville tokens. How much tokens, you say? Well, right here we have 500 for silver tier, 1,500 TINV for platinum tier, 3,000 for gold, and 7,000 for diamond. Now, sometimes this changes based on community demand. The tiers don't necessarily change, but the specifics for each tier might. So for this, for typically or generally, silver tier, if you own 500 TINV Finance, are farming with it. You can farm with it on TINV farms, through liquidity or single token staking, or just in your wallet. You have one ticket entry into the whitelist lottery, so you'll be entered into a lottery. Whereas if you hold no TINV tokens, you don't get to apply for the whitelist lottery. So if you hold 3 times that much, 1,500 tokens, you'll get 4 tickets into the lottery, and if you win, you'll get the same basic allocation. But if you have 3,000 TINV tokens, you'll get a guaranteed allocation. That means you don't have to fill out a whitelist form, and there is no lottery, and you'll just be able to contribute into the fund, which in this case is BNB, or sometimes it's BUSD, but it's on the BSC network basically. So whether that's stablecoin or BNB token, just that you'll be able to contribute to that, and in return get whatever the IDO is, which in this case is LPI. And then on Diamond, 7,000, you'll get the same thing in gold, but 4 times higher allocation. So 4 times greater contribution, which means 4 times more tokens, more pre-sale tokens. And the difference between a pre-sale and a launch, when a token launches, it's public. So anyone can buy it on PancakeSwap or QuickSwap, HyperSwap, whatever kind of swap you use in Uniswap, SushiSwap, all that stuff. You can enter the contract address and buy it, but you're competing with other people for the best price. So you typically on a token launch, you have to set very high slippage. You want very super fast internet. You don't want a lot of lag. It can be very difficult to get a good price on launch, and things can go bad sometimes. Sometimes your transactions can get front run, and you just end up with a much smaller position than you would otherwise. Pre-sales are difficult to get into because you have to leverage capital or connections or something like that. You have to leverage that to get into the pre-sale, which in this case would be you have to own TINV tokens. But pre-sales are amazing. Legitimate pre-sales are wonderful to get into. It's very, very difficult to lose, even on somewhat poorly run projects. If you got in the pre-sale, you're probably up, because you're buying pre-sale. They're giving you the coin for the lowest, presumably the lowest possible price. Now, there's lots. I'm not saying join every pre-sale, because some pre-sales are scams. You send them the BNB or the stable or the ETH or the whatever you're sending them, and they just run with it if it's not a legitimate project. And that's why Launchpads have come into existence, because if a token is launching through a Launchpad, that means they are legit, and they can access the Launchpads community. They can form a legitimate project. So I'm really interested in LPI, and the whitelist form is not up yet for them, so you can all the links will be in the description. But we're going to check out TINV price. How much capital? Why? Basically, the question is, what does Launchpad Index do? Well, Launchpad Index basically gives you exposure to the profit of basically potentially hundreds of coin launches all the time. So investors who would like to be part of multiple launchpads and IDO sales but cannot gain access to all of them due to lack of funds, knowledge, or time, high opportunity costs, technical complexities, time constraints create a barrier for many investors. And I can personally attest that it can be very expensive to enter all these different launchpads and their tokens, because on each network you have many different launchpads. And within those launchpads, you have lots of different tokens, lots of different pre-sales and IDOs. So the networks that LPI will be operating on is BSC, Terra, Polygon, Tron, Definity, and Thorchain. So that's 6 chains. You basically by owning LPI Fund or contributing to LPI Fund, however, it's not launched yet. So however it's going to be however it's going to be structured, you can participate. With a small amount of capital, you can own portions of launchpads and IDO profits from 6 different networks. And who's to say that won't expand? I mean, this is a really interesting project. You should always do your own research, and nothing I'm saying is investment advice, but I'm here to educate you, entertain you on what is possible out there, and then it's up to you to do your own due diligence and check it out. So let's see how much TINV do we have to own? 500. And how much is that? So let's look at the charts right here. I've been in TINV Finance from the beginning, and so all the way back at launch here, and the price has held pretty well actually for a launchpad for an IDO project. It's held pretty well. We've had some highs up in the 7s, going toward 8, and then it's held pretty well around the 2 and 3. Area. So right here you have this red line here. This is where we're at right now at about $1.86, which is very low actually for Tinville Finance. And the reason that it's low is because the last IDO project they had a little glitch with the coin, not Tinville's coin, but the IDO coin had a little bit of a glitch with the burn mechanism, and it ended up burning a little more tokens than they were counting on. So typically when those things happen, you're going to see fear selling, you're going to see some price slumps. Now, you might ask the same question I'm asking, which is it a good buy right now? Well, to me, and I've been following TINV from the beginning, this does look like an advantageous price to get into. But that's not investment advice. Do your own research. It could go down from here a little bit. If it does go down, it might go down to about the 150, or hopefully not much lower than that. But who's to say? But with this IDO launching, this is a really, really interesting one. If this goes well, you could easily see the price back up to $3 if this launch goes well, which there's no guarantee in crypto that anything will go well, really, even if it does have a great team behind it, which, I love the team, Tinville Finance. I trust they have a great vision for this, and they've really done a good job. And I'm farming on TINV. They have their farm. So if you buy the TINV tokens, there may be many reasons for you to buy. You might want to swing trade it. You might not even want to get in the IDO. Maybe you just want to buy it cheap at 180 and sell it, wait till it goes up. No guarantee of that, but you can do that. You can buy it and farm and participate in the IDO. You can farm TINVS tokens, which is their farming token, which is worth about 2.2 cents. And so you can do all those kinds of things. And if you got a lot of money, so it's about $900 to get into this tier. I know that was a roundabout way to get to that, but 186 times 500 is about $900, a little over $900 to get into silver tier. And subsequent tiers, you're looking at under 6,000 for this tier, and just under 14,000 for diamond tier. And there may be tiers above that and below this for different IDOs depending on community demand. I know they have a form out right now. Let's go to their Telegram. Industry Network. They have a form out here that is basically checking out the interest in their IDO. So if the interest is large, they will have large tiers, large tier allocations. If the interest is small, they'll have small tier allocations. So this is their Telegram. The Telegram will be in the description as well as the websites. And also, I want you guys to check out my Telegram. And I'm currently taking suggestions on what projects to talk about next. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's pretty much it. And I hope you guys consider joining my Telegram, join Tinville, check it out, do some research. Definitely check out LPI. I'm really interested, getting exposure to Launchpads is a really good way. It's one of my favorite ways to make money in the DeFi space, honestly. So it takes a lot of capital sometimes and some time, a lot of patience, but it is a great way to make a lot of money. So do your own research, guys. Make good decisions. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up. Talk to you later.